Hey there, guys. This is Kai Mate again. I rode a whole bunch last night during a power outage by candlelight, which is something I don't think I've ever done in my entire life, 42 years on this earth, and don't think I ever wrote by candlelight. It was kind of neat. I felt like I was like Ben Franklin or some shit. Anyway, the topic that I was writing about was things that piss me right the F off. That's going to be the title of this. Um, I don't know much about YouTube, the ins and outs of policies and end user license agreements and all that stuff. Who reads the fine print? I understand that if I cuss, I might get a video taken down. I don't know. I'm not doing this for kids, so if you're a kid, don't watch this or listen to it. Also, I do cuss, probably a lot. So if that offends you, you were warned. All right. So anyway, I'm not trying to make money. So this is going to be all over the place. Again, I understand this is a podcast. Like, it's voice. I'm not wanting to show my face. I don't really have the skills yet. I haven't worked on making videos before. So, you know, bear with me. Anyway, opening. Religion is the opiate of the masses. I'm not sure who said that. I want to say something like Christopher Hitchens. And for a good man to do good, that is, for a good man to do good, that's good. And for a good man to do bad, that takes religion. I'm not sure who said that. Probably Christopher Hitchens. He was a bit of a dick when it came to stating things in a way that... Anyway, I don't disagree. Personally, I don't care what people believe. I'm happy that we have, so far, the freedom to believe what we want or to not believe. I'll fight for that right, but I draw a line. What specifically pisses me off is how people mistake fellowship for someone telling them how to or what to believe. That is, when it speaks of fellowship in the Bible, it's not talking about letting somebody dictate to you how you understand the Bible. It's not about sorry, I'm going to try to cough off camera instead of in your ear. Okay, so yeah, like, you have the right to believe what you want, but I believe it's up to you to figure that out, not, you know, Joe, super rich money bags, mega church pastor, or Dingleberry, what's his face, off of OAN or whatever, that talks about how, you know, gay is bad and trans people are bad and all this heteronormative bullcrap. While I am not trans or gay, um, I have too many people in my life that are, and I don't presume to tell them how to live, nor would I judge them on that. I will, however, judge them like I judge everybody. If you're a good person and you try to do good things for people and you're not hurting people, groovy. When you specifically try to pass laws that dictate to other people how they should live, that's based on some 2,000 plus year old book that's been rewritten, translated, uh, modified heavily, added to and removed by politicians. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, you can have your belief and you can totally eat that up on Sunday or whatever. But I think that, like, you know, it takes a pretty scourly, horrible person to cast stones in a glass house. Like, why would you condemn somebody for the way they live their life when your life is in some way also flawed. You should be striving to perfect your own self and your own family, and you should be striving to do for yourself what you deem is good. So, like the meme that goes around Facebook is, don't believe in abortion, don't get one. Don't believe in gay marriage, don't get married to a guy, or a same sex marriage, you know, etc. It's absolutely true. If you don't believe in it, don't participate in it. But participating in it is not. Um, you know, being polite, like when somebody says, when somebody you knew, like this has happened to me, okay? Somebody I knew, let's call them John, walked up to me, and I met them, and I became friends with them, and I was friends with them, and tried to start a club together in college, and we hung out, and I think, if memory serves, they dated my ex-girlfriend at one point. It did not bother me. I, whatever. I thought that person was a good person. They made some pretty bad life decisions, but I mean, we were 20. I think we all did. 10 or 15 years passed, and the same person reaches out to me, and they are no longer, they don't look like they used to. They don't act, they don't act like the guy I knew. And I find out that they're trans. It's the first person I met that was trans, by the way. And it took me better part of a year to understand what was going on, because while they explained it to me, John is no longer John. John is now Jane. And they explained it to me one day about 6 months in, and things started to click, but it still took me another 6 months to kind of put myself in their shoes. And then one day I did get it. And I also met a couple other people that happened to be gay. And since they were a little bit closer to the talking points, they were able to explain it to me like I was 2 years old. So essentially, it turns out this person always felt at ease, or ill at ease, in their body, and they decided to go trans. And more power to them. They're still a sweet person. They're still super duper intelligent. And I think that's fine. And for somebody to have a problem with what somebody does with their own body is just a modern day version of satanic panic, the satanic panic. And I've heard it said on more than one, yeah, I watch them. I watch a lot of critiques of religion, and I also watch a lot of pastors on TV. Not because I believe in God, but because I believe in staying informed on what the white nationalist talking point and agenda is. And it really does seem like they're trying to make it all about Satan, like they're proclaiming it, this is his influence, and that they're trying to come after your children, and they're trying to recruit your kids because they can't have kids. Dude, that's not what trans people are, for the record, and also not what gay people are the last time I checked. There's in vitro fertilization and adoption. Oh, Lord. And it ties into all kinds of other hot button subjects, but suffice to say, nobody's trying to, at least in the vast majority of people, let me put it this way, it is not disproportionate. Yes, there are bad people that are trans and gay, but it's not like all of them are, and it's not disproportionate. It's not like there's a whole bunch of perverts trying to get a hold of your kids in bathrooms that happen to be trans. That is a bullshit topic. That is a bullshit argument, and they know it. And it's the same argument that was presented in the 60s and 70s during the gay panic, and again in the 80s during the AIDS epidemic. It's the same argument that's been used forever. And I think what really pisses me off about it is they don't really realize that these topics are being rebundled with a new modern twist. But yet, these different so-called grassroots organizations come up and just make a mess for everybody. I knew teachers that were gay that no longer feel safe to be a teacher So they had to quit their job because they were getting threats, actual threats from students and from students and their parents. When they go to the board says there's not much they can do other than file a complaint with the cops or get a restraining order. But the last time I checked, those things only stop a portion of the violence that can come your way. So it's not fair to judge a book by its cover, yet that's actually what's happening, both figuratively and literally, because these same organizations are now going after reading literature and video content that's displayed in schools. For fuck's sake, they are now in Florida banning books that teach about the Holocaust in favor of videos from Prager University, who is neither a university or a scientifically robust organization. They are, by their own definition, a political organization that spends money and effort to bring conservative politics to the masses. That's it. Like, the whole... Make it make sense. Like, why would Prager University be allowed to show content for kids in school settings when none of their content is truthful? There has been so much bullshit that's happened, and these people... Sorry, I've got to adjust. Stupid chair. These people are like following suit, not thinking for themselves. Like I said, I'm a guy. I was born a guy. I like women. I like my wife a lot. That's why I married her. Thankfully, she married me, too. So, like, I'm just saying, like, they're making stuff up, right? And while I'm a dude that likes dude stuff, one of the things that does seem to be something that needs to be addressed, and this is even after, this is my opinion, after speaking with a couple of people that were in the trans community that are not in the activist realm. They also see a reason or a need for athletic associations and organizations and school boards and coaches and teams and all that to sit down and talk about how trans athletes can participate in the athletic program of their choice. So, like, first off, when I was in high school, there was totally two women, chicks, whatever, girls at the time, playing football. And there was all kinds of sexual discrimination about that until she put the smackdown on the other team. And then the only people making fun of her was from the other team once she proved herself. Now, it should go without saying she should not have had to have proven herself. She should not have had to have proven herself. But after a time, they did accept her, and she did pretty damn good. She also wrestled for a while, and she got tired of guys in her class groping her. Okay. There should be a conversation about where trans people fit in the athletic realm, and that is something that I'm not qualified nor even remotely wanting to cover. But that does not mean that trans people don't belong in society. Like, I could go into the same talking points that all the people that are on all the social media and all that stuff talk about this to, like, try to hammer my point home. But I am not in the habit of taking people's rights or taking people's liberties away from them because they're different. What kind of world would we be if we only allowed the things that we get along with or agree with? I'm pretty sure none of us would be here because we probably would have never left where we came from, right? I'm a white guy, so like, I'm just saying that's a thing that pisses me off. I don't like it when they bash on them. I don't like it when these TV televangelists and these born again Christian fucks spend all of their energy bashing on gay people, trans people, and making up stuff. And then politicians make up stuff, and all the organizations that are supposedly grassroots make up stuff. And then they start banning books. These same type of people also went through the same exact playbook to ban abortions when, look, man, I don't want a baby to die, but a fetus is neither a baby nor possibly able to die. Like, it is not a living creature yet. It is not a baby yet. Even by the biblical standards of first breath, it is not a baby. We're not talking about aborting babies at 7 months or 9 months. Hell, we're not even talking about aborting them at 4. We're talking about aborting possible pregnancies and pregnancies because of complications and whatever, up to 3 months. Like, the law that was on the books for literally 30 or 40 years was perfectly fine. Leave it be. Just codify it. Make it law. Women should have the right to dictate for themselves what happens to their body. Within reason, I think. They're, again, I'm a dude. I like dude stuff. And yeah, there is need for any right, as we have seen, to have some restrictions. Just like you can't have a gun at school or at a courthouse, but you are free to own guns. You can't be a violent offender and own guns. There's restrictions on the Second Amendment. There should be restrictions on the right to abortion, within reason. Same with the rights for trans people. You have the right to be trans, but maybe there's some restrictions on what team you can play for. And while I don't personally think there should be restrictions on what bathroom you use, I just think that it would be easier if you made all bathrooms private. Like, I don't have a problem pooping or peeing in a bathroom with a woman in it as long as they can't see me. So, like, give me a private stall and I will stink the shit out of that place. Like, I don't understand. Everybody poops, everybody pees. Give them a private stall. Get rid of the half stall bull crap in schools. Oh, well, they might go in there and smoke. Yeah, they might. But, like, why are you peeping on kids in the bathroom stalls? Like, just give them 5 minutes to do their business, for fuck's sake. Like, there's worse things in this world than if a kid accidentally, like, gets away with smoking in the bathroom. Like, I'm not saying kids should smoke. I mean, I did. When I was, like, 15, I started smoking. But, like, and, yeah, duh, smoking's bad for you. But, like, there are worse things to worry about. Like, and if you just made all bathrooms omnisex and you made all bathrooms have private stalls, get rid of the urinals in favor of maybe like a stall with a urinal in it. Easy peasy. And a lot less expensive than, say, a whole new third bathroom option for every school and public place. It just doesn't make sense. So, like, while I do believe that anybody should be able to use whatever bathroom they want because of omni stalls, that's a way to half measure it. That way people can't say, oh, so-and-so's getting harassed or sexually assaulted in the bathroom. Well, not if you have a private stall you can lock, right? Not if you have teachers that, and they've always done this, monitor who goes and comes in the bathroom. So if somebody's standing outside the bathroom as you come and go, you're a lot less likely to have problems. Okay, anyway, moving on. Yeah. Fellowship. Yeah. So, fellowship, don't listen to preachers unless you are unable to think for yourself, I think you should read the Bible and read the Bible and read the Bible, and then, really think about what Jesus was talking about, and kind of toss out all those bad parts of the Bible where it's like, so and so's bad and such is evil, because, I'm pretty sure a lot of folks can't abide by laws of Leviticus. So, like, whatever. Anyway, I've watched people who were open-minded completely lose that openness because of religion, and others dictating and spoon-feeding them what is and is not right, doing complete 180s mentally. I grew up in Appalachia, so Sunday Christians, or whatever you want to call them, is definitely a phenomenon that I am familiar with. And, like, I use that word a lot. I'm becoming conscious of it because I can hear my own voice. But, like, yeah, see, I did it again. But like. Okay, so growing up in Appalachia, I grew up around a lot of people that had the opinion that Christianity was the only one true religion, except they didn't realize that there are like 170 different versions of Christianity, and they all disagree in some way with the other versions. So which version is the right version? I don't know. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because most of these Christians don't live a Christian life. They go to church to show face. Just like a company picnic, when everybody shows up in their company swag. Sunday is the day to show your community that you too believe in the Sky Daddy. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And it never really did, even though I grew up going to church, and I participated in Boy Scouts, and that was a very church-centered thing. I tested Catholicism for a while, went to Jehovah's Witness church for a while, dated a Mormon and tried to convert for her, or at least learn enough about her religion so I could stay within the, respectable limits or whatever. And, like, I dabbled in a little bit of everything, and they all have the same issues. We're right, you're wrong, everybody else is wrong. Let's go to church on Sunday and ask for forgiveness for that whole week, even though, I seen little Johnny down the street smoking crack or dealing drugs or hitting his wife or, cheating on his girlfriend or, yelling or screaming or whatever. Like, everybody has crap, and nobody addresses their own crap. And yet they go to church on Sunday acting like, oh, I got my company swag on. We're good, man. I love this company. It's the best company. I love Jesus. Amen. Like, it is a show. It is theater. Like, I know a few Christians that are not theater. They live it. They try very hard to be like they live like Jesus. Okay, they try to live as Jesus would have lived, or as Jesus would have wanted. And those guys, man, are completely different. They're cut from a different cloth than literally every politician that I've ever seen preach about God, say God talks to them, or, use God as their crutch or their lever to get people to vote for them. And they definitely are different than most of the what I would call like the white Christian nationals. Hashtag. I mean, a mental note here is that you don't have to be white, but these super duper conservatives, the born agains, whatever, more often than not have more problems than the people that they're talking bad about or judging or whatever. Moving on. You are free to believe what you want. I would fight for your right and my right to do that. But it pisses me right the hell off that you use your belief as reason to take my rights away, i.e. abortion and body autonomy. Book burning, bathrooms, trans issues. We've already covered it. Essentially, I heard it put on a meme, maybe about, I don't know, 8 years ago, that religion should be like penises. It's okay to have one, but it should stay in your pants. I know that's really bad and cliche, but that's really the truth of it. Like, I don't believe that you should proselytize. Now, if your religion says you need to go out and spread the faith, and the only thing you can do is stand on the corner of the street and preach about the end of the world, or how God's not going to forgive you if you're not saved, or bang on doors and try to get people to engage you in a conversation about the rhetoric of your religion of choice, then you're not doing it right. Like, I'm not even a religious expert, but I'm pretty sure that when they talk about proselytizing or um, going around spreading the gospel, they're not talking about going out and beating people up with a damn Bible. They're talking about showing people how to live right by example. But you're going to read that book and then listen to the guy tell you what to believe. And that's what they believe. It's absolutely un-American and anti-constitution for you to try to take other people's rights away based on your religion. And like, I'm not arguing whether or not this country was a Christian nation or whether or not this country was founded on secular beliefs. Because there's no point in arguing. I can say the sky is blue and these people will argue with me until I turn blue. So like, even though I know that it was formed in a deist, like most of the folks that were on that whole discovery committee, our founding fathers, were deist or non-denominational, and they said in no uncertain terms that the country wasn't founded on a set of religious beliefs, and specifically wrote it into the Constitution that there should be a separation of those two things. Even like what was it, the Letters of Tripoli? No, that's maybe not it. Federalist Papers? I don't know. One of those sets of papers, John Madison said something about it too. James Madison, sorry. Anyway, a long story short, this was a nation to be allowed to do what you wanted to. It was all about personal freedoms and stuff. It's not, hey, my religion's the right religion, and it's, I need the state to back me up on this. Come on, big brother, and help me. It, like, I don't get it. Anyway, why does what other people do bother you so bad? Because you were told different is bad? Well, in a few cases, maybe that is a little true, but no more than with the rest of us. Like, I don't know, man. It was 3 o'clock in the morning and I had no electricity. What the fuck do you want from me? Okay, yeah. So what else pisses me off is like companies putting profit over people. Okay, I can understand if a company's struggling that they would pay their people a little less maybe, or not give them raises. I could understand that if they're struggling. Usually I would think, or I would hope that a company would say, hey guys, we're struggling this month and I want to give everybody a little bit of a raise, but I can't. So what we're going to do is we're going to really knuckle down these next couple months, and I'm going to hook you up with a raise as soon as we get back to being good. That's not what happens. Companies like the one I worked for will post and boast about their record profits every company meeting. Talk about, oh, you guys sold so much stuff. I worked in tech, so the conversation went like, our sales team sold so much tech, so much hardware. Oh, it's wonderful. They made like $1.9 million, and the tech department, you guys are doing a wonderful job. You made us like $900,000. That's awesome. Yeah, you guys keep up the work. Our networking team went out and like just absolutely threw the cable, man. They rolled out like 900 miles of cable. That brought in like $1 million. Oh yeah, man, we did so well. We have, $3.5 million in profit this month. Then you ask them for a fucking raise, and they look at you like you have egg on your face. Like, well, we can't do that. First off, I should not have to ask you for a raise. You should automatically be giving everybody a cost of living raise. If inflation brings the dollar down, then the buying power of the dollar down. If my rent, if rent in general goes up 20% or whatever, like we've seen since 2020, then these companies that are making exorbitant amounts of money should, at least in part, help rectify the situation by paying their fucking people what they're worth. It really upsets me that companies will do that, and that here at company XYZ, we love each other and we're a family. If you work with us and do your work, work hard, we're going to take care of you and everything's going to be good, and we treat our people fairly, and we try to do everything that we can to keep you happy. Okay, cool. Hey boss, can I get a $250 a month raise? My rent went up like $300 and it would help me a lot. Like, no, we don't do that. Sorry. We don't have enough funds for that right now. Well, yeah, but the CEO just said that, we made $3.8 million in profit, and it sounds like $280 a month isn't really anything. Like, he could do that literally 100,000 times or something. I don't math real well. He could do that 10,000 times. You know, and it wouldn't even hurt. All right, well that's one of my digs. Like, also, like, companies. I've worked for a pretty big tech company, and I've worked for a pretty small tech company. The pretty big tech company had way higher cost healthcare. Like, it was close to $600 a month just for me. The smaller company actually had a cost sharing program, and it was like $180 for me because the company covered about 80% of it. Pretty neat. But the healthcare itself, in both cases, sucked donkey balls. Sucked donkey balls. Because, like, what good is fixing the cost of some prescriptions to either 10, 25, or 50 when you don't cover anything other than your once a year physical exam? Like, everything else is you have to pay all of it until you hit a deductible, and then after that $6,500 a year deductible is hit, then they're going to pay 80% of it, but only on certain things, only after you've asked for their permission, and only after, if their permission is given, they send you to their doctor. Total maddening. I need to go to the doctor and get a CAT scan for my back. And I go there, and the doctor says, you have a broke back. We need to give you a CAT scan. I'm like, cool, can I go get one? Because the hospital's never full down there, and I could just walk in. No, you need to get prior authorization. Okay, cool. How long is that going to take? Oh, a few days. 6 weeks later, I'm having a hard time walking. I go back to the doctor and I ask, I need that CAT scan. I need to know what I need to do to repair this. I don't know if I need surgery. I don't know if I need an injection. No. So we're still waiting for authorization. Okay, well, the authorization got denied about 3 days later, and they told me that it got denied. So I called the hospital and I said, how much would it cost for me to get this CAT scan if I paid for it out of pocket? And they said $3,200. And I said, really? And they said, yeah. I said, would that count towards my deductible on my insurance? No. Why? Because you're paying for it out of pocket. Well, okay. How come it's $3,200? Well, it would be less if you didn't have insurance. How much less? $2,600. So you're marking it up almost $700 because I have insurance, but I have to pay for it. The whole thing's maddening. It does not make sense, and the bureaucracy behind it is rolling in the cash, laughing hysterically as they bend us all over. The healthcare in the United States is the dumbest bureaucratic nightmare money grab that I've ever read, and I have read a crap ton of different books over the years that talk about dystopian futures. Like, for real, if we all just paid $200 a month, like, I don't know, like, I don't know what's reasonable, like 1% of our income, right? Like, let's say you make $50,000, 1% of that's $500, $5,000. I don't know. Let me do the math. I can't do